Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, classmates. My name is Girly B. Disukatan. So today, I will explain my instructional materials, which is I provide a blackboard and also flashcards contains of words. So education is imparted for achieving certain ends and goals. So all of us have an education to commit our dreams. So various subjects like ideals, their attainment needs a long-term planning. So education is not easy because there are processing and also uh, objectives to have an successful in the futures. So their attainment needs a long-term planning, just like I said earlier. The objectives are those short-term immediate goals or purpose. So my topic is all about aims and objective of teaching physical science at school. So,
Ma'am,
yes,
what is the difference between aims and objective?
thank you for that. So, the difference between aims and objectives, when we say aims, are long term of purpose, while objective is a short term of purpose. For example, in the aims, just like an ambition. So, you don't have to be a successful woman if you don't have uh, an aims in life. And
How about objective, ma'am?
objectives, for example, and objectives for working a job. So there are qualifications to be an what's so example of objectives is a job. There is a qualification to be part of uh, kind of company. So that is an example of objectives. So let's proceed to our next, which is the objective of teaching of physical science at different stages. So there are three stages of the objective of teaching of physical science at different stages. So first is what we call the primary level. So when we say uh, when we say a primary level, it is as a students, it is the arousing and maintaining interest in the physical and social environment, arousing love for nature and its sources. So, for example, in the primary level, it is the basic of interest as a social environment for the nature and its source. So, next is the developing the habit of observation, just like observe when the teacher is discussing, and exploration or classification and the systematic of the way of thinking. So, for example, the teacher is discussing, then the students will also observe or to explore what the teacher said, and the developing the child powers of manipulative, creative, and inventor. So the developing neat and order of habits. So the primary level also stated that every students have the personal hygiene or proper behavior when the teacher is observed. That's the aims or the objectives of teaching of physical science at different stages. And let's move on to the middle school level. So let's move on to the second stages, which is the middle school living. So in these stages, the acquisition of kind of information concerning nature and science, which may also save as the basis, the general science. So in these stages, when we say that uh, it's a part of the nature and science, it's also about the basics for general science. So, developing ability to reach generalization and to apply them for solving every problem. So, and also understanding the impact of science in the way of life. And also, what we call this, developing interest in uh, science rubrics or any kind of activities which the students have easy to learn, which is um, when the teacher is demonstrate or what we call this, experiment, then the students will also be the one of the major guidelines of the topic. So, and also the middle school level, it is the inspiring children by stories about scientists and their discoveries. It is also discovered about the science natures and also the inspiring about stories about science or parts of a science, which is in this stage emphasize the way shape of the acquisition, the ability to learn, and also about in this stage it is the students to draw about the higher level so that the students will improve their physical learnings and also their knowledge. So let's move on to the next stage, which is the high and higher education. High and higher education. So, the high and higher education in this is the third stage, which is the first stage is the primary level and the second stage is the middle. Third, which is what we call high and higher educations. So when we say high and higher education, and every students provide to communicate, and also this stage is very what we call this. So let's move on to the high and higher education, which is this stage is very easy because the students will have an experience yet because they are processing about the next stages. So high and higher education is to familiarize the pupil with the world in. So after the stages, let's proceed to the NCF, which is NCF means National Curriculum Framework. So it is the focus on the learning should be an enjoyable and act with children should feel that they are valued and their voices are heard. Uh, so the NCF is very predictable and important because it gives the children the enjoyable moments and the happiness as students. So NCF states that the good science evaluation is true to the child, true to the life, and true to the science. So when we say true to the child, that the science we teach should be understandable to the child and be able to engage the child meaningful on joyful learning. So because of the NCF, which is the National Curriculum Framework, as a true child, it gives and engage the child as a meaningful and joyful learning. So there are many things to have an experience. So according to the NCF also, as students, it gives us the true life. So as a true to life, it is promote in her concern of the child, preservation of the environment. So as a true science or true to life, it is promoting in her and concern as students also. So, and lastly is the true to science, which is true to science is acquiring scientific knowledge, which is include the knowledge, skills, and also the experience as a student. So that's all, and thank you.